Hello, and welcome back for another episode of the Accessible Technology Podcast with me, Phoebes Lau. For those of you who are new, this is a podcast all about the most accessible everyday technologies and what they are if you are a disabled person, as well as covering what technologies are less accessible and which also sometimes gives technology companies advice on how to make their technology even more accessible. However, there is good news if you have made it all the way to this episode, because this means that I have finally managed to achieve my goal of turning all the videos that I uploaded to the YouTube channel into a podcast by August, because by the time this episode comes out, I'll have achieved that goal with just a couple of days to spare. You can listen to this podcast by searching for it on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify. However, if you'd like to support the podcast and the content I produce in other ways, you can also support it by going over to the Phoebes Now Buy Me a Coffee page, which is where you will also be able to find exclusive episodes that aren't part of the podcast, as well as checking out a shop that I plan to open at some stage. The Nintendo DSi was first released back in 2008, and it was the first to include a camera and an audio player, as well as being the second to get the web browser, which allowed you to connect to the internet. But nonetheless, it was also the first DS to lose the Game Boy Advance slot, which allowed gamers to play Game Boy games on a DS. However, adding to the disappointment, while the console was groundbreaking for the time, there was still another downside to it, and to another couple of DSs as well, and that was that not all the games were fully accessible if you were physically disabled. That was something that I faced quite a lot as a child. However, more recently, I was able to convince Special Effects the gaming gallery to create a customized DSi for me, which has an external switch port plugged into the stylus port that helps to act as the L and R buttons if I plug an external switch into them, and that's what I'm going to be covering again in today's episode. However, it is important for me to add as well that, as usual, the main part of the audio comes from a video that I originally uploaded to my YouTube channel a few weeks ago, and Since this is just an audio podcast and there's no video footage, here's the list of games that I will be reviewing in this Street Tycoon DS, Women's Murder Club for the DS, Ratatouille DS, Sonic Chronicles, The Dark Brotherhood, and The Christmas Carol for the DS. But now that I've went through all of that, let's get straight into part 2 of my review. So starting us off as the first game on the list is Street Tycoon for the DS. Similar to how brain training acted as the last time I did one of these, Street Tycoon is also a game that I played quite a lot as a child, but I'm now able to play it a lot better. So Street Tycoon anyway, for those of you who haven't heard of it before and who are now only learning about it for the first time, because basically a strategy game developed by Blue Fang and published by Waddleby, and it's basically a game that allows you to create your own zoo in whatever way you want. For that reason, it is a good game for anyone who really likes those role-playing games that aren't really that stressful. And whether or not you're an adult or a child, you will love it. So you can play the game by using the touchscreen with the D-pad and with the L/R buttons at the back of the controller, and with the switch port that has been added into this DSi, it's made an awful lot easier. Yes, the main part of the game is played using the D-pad and the touchscreen, but the L and R buttons allow you to jump around the zoo and to rotate around it. And now with that added in, it is an awful lot easier. Number 2, Women's Murder Club. So Women's Murder Club, Kung Fu, Women's Murder Club, Games of Passion, is an adventure game and a puzzle game developed by Kryptonite Games, and it is published by iPlay. The game basically invites you to step into the shoes of Lindsay, Claire, and Cindy, who are all members of the Women's Murder Club, and to help them uncover the secrets of murder cases that take place within the game, as well as uncovering the surprising secrets that link them all together. To play the game, you have to turn the DS on its side, but other than that, everything else is done by using the touchscreen. Yes, you have to turn the DS back round when playing puzzles such as Mahjong through some of the chapters, but the accessibility overall is really good, and it's a game that you can play even if you haven't got someone to add on a switch port to the back of the DS. Number 3, Ratatouille for the DS. I would have loved if I was able to say all good things about all the games in this video, but alas, that is not the case, and it is definitely something that really applies to Ratatouille for the DS. Based off the Disney and Pixar film of the same name, the game basically sees you taking on the role of Remy, He is a young rat with dreams of becoming a chef. To play the game, you have to use the touchscreen as well as the A, B, Y, X buttons, and all of that together does really make it difficult unless you're someone who can use multiple fingers. Since you have to hold down a couple of buttons at once when playing the game, I really think that if you're into Ratatouille, then you might be better buying the food frenzy version of the game, as it's basically the game version of one of the mini games, because that part of it you only have to slice various foods. Number 4, Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood is an adventure slash platform game which was developed by BioWare and published by Sega. And it is basically the Sega's mascot's first role-playing game, rated 7 plus and allowing for 1 to 2 players. The game opens on a holiday that Sonic is taking after another battle with Dr. Eggman, but soon enough he then gets a call from Tails to let him know that Knuckles has been kidnapped and that the Chaos Emeralds are disappearing. The game is really an accessible one if you have limited movement, because you play the entire game with the touchscreen, which does make it a lot more accessible for people who can't use their hands. Yes, that is something that some people have complained about, but I really think it's a good thing overall. And finally, at number 5, we have A Christmas Carol, even though this video is being uploaded during the summer, but apologies guys, the year is going way too quickly for me. But who would deny Christmas in the middle of summer? Inspired by the classic tale by Charles Dickens and based off the animated Disney film, A Christmas Carol is an adventure slash puzzle game that is rated 7 plus, and which was developed by Sumo Digital and published by Disney Interactive. Apologies if I am pronouncing the name of the first company wrong with my Northern Ireland accent. You basically control the game by blowing or shouting into the microphone, and while using the stylus to pull, shake, drag, rattle, and to interact with everything else in Scrooge's world. And so far, it has been really accessible. But now, as part of my conclusion, I just want to explain that I bought all of these games back in February, but so far I've had a really good time playing most of them, and possibly a wee bit too much fun at times, especially in relation to Women's Murder Club. No, not all of these games are accessible, and I am disappointed in the Ratatouille game, as I would have liked settings that let you choose whether or not you would like to map everything to the touchscreen so that the user could choose which layout works better for them. But as it's an old game now, yeah, it's not likely anything's going to happen. But other than that, all the other games have been fantastic, and so far I believe I can get to the end of all of them, especially the ones with story mode. But now that I finished going through all of these games and giving you some of my thoughts, let me ask, have you bought any of Nintendo's handheld consoles in the past? And how accessible did you find them? If you did, were there any games you found more accessible than others? And what, in your opinion, could make handheld gaming devices even more accessible? Well, if you would like to pass on some of your thoughts, you can include them in a review wherever you're listening to this on, as well as via the contact pages over on my pltechreviews.co.uk website or on my other website, phoebelau.com. If you're interested in watching the other videos that I have uploaded to YouTube in regards to accessible technology, you can find more by searching for PL Tech Reviews on YouTube or going into the episode notes or the description of this podcast. But if you would also like to see a couple of my accessible tourism reviews, as well as my film, TV, theatre reviews, and political videos, if you want to see everything else that I do, journalism-wise, you can find all of them as well by searching for freestyle journalism on YouTube. And there's also a podcast version of everything that I cover on there if you would prefer a video-free version of everything that I cover on freestyle journalism, which you can find by searching for the Freestyle Podcast on all of the same destinations as you can listen to this podcast on. But of course, there is also the Buy Me a Coffee page again. This podcast has been recorded on the 15th of August because the next couple of weeks are going to be extremely busy. So I've just got everything done now just so I don't have to rush as much. I don't currently know what the next few episodes that come out are going to be on exactly, but I will tell you now about a couple of the topics that I do want to get into in the next few weeks and months. So one of my ideas is to do something in relation to the news that Elon Musk has changed Twitter's name to X, but I'd also really be interested in giving a couple more reviews in relation to various bits of tech that I got in and have been using throughout this year, including a short speaker for my Amazon Echo, a lighting kit that I bought in, and maybe a couple of headphones as well, and very possibly the latest iOS features and what I really like about all of them. As well as that, I would be interested in investigating some AI platforms and softwares and investigating into whether or not AI is something that we should be scared of or not. But we'll see as the weeks and months go on. Another thing I would be interested in doing, however, would be a tutorial on how you can create your own sound effects using your phone or a tablet with things that you have around the house or that are easily accessed. So please tell me if you would be up to hearing about that if you like the sound of it. I plan to update this podcast 3 times a week, and that is still at the minute the plan going forward. But to tell you the truth, guys, I am getting invited to quite a number of meetings over Zoom with some staff in various sectors on the journalism industry. So I might have to change everything for work purposes, although I will still make this as regular as I can. If you would like to support me over my socials, you can do so by searching for at @PhoebesNow on Twitter or by searching for the real PhoebesNow on Instagram. You can also follow the PhoebesNow tech review site if you have a WordPress account. However, if none of that takes your fancy, just so to support me by either subscribing to the YouTube channel and by following the podcast. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you all in the next one, whenever that will be. Bye!